Welcome on number 3.
Would it be improper to have my shirt on?
Well, I'm just wearing shorts, apart from... oh, shit, my life.
Well,
Right.
let's follow the audience then.
No, I'll get banned on Twitch if that happens. Anyway, welcome to Star Trek Adventures Damocles, where 4 idiots mangle their way through the Star Trek Adventures game by Modiphius. I'm Chris, the host and GM. Tonight we are back in the Prime universe after the shenanigans of the last month, and oh boy, it was fun. Just gonna let the Twitch people know that we're live via Twitter. I love the Elgato, just pressing the button, it does all that stuff. It's marvellous. Right, so first of all, a recap. Let's make sure everything's all... There we go. I'm assuming everybody's in roll 20.
I'm not yet.
Yes, that would help.
Yeah, I got as far as loading roll 20 and then not logging in. Smart.
Derp. Let's put that right there, actually. Okay, so I'm going to start off...
Call it the bioweapon specialist.
Yeah, remember, you're using your proper character sheets now, not all your evil focuses and stuff like that. Right, so, I'm going to do 2 recaps actually, one for the last time and one for what happened back in the Prime universe. So for anybody who missed it, last 2 weeks we were in the Mirror universe, and due to a, shall we say, fortuitous series of events, there was an alliance formed between the Borg and the new Empire that had crushed the Terran Empire, and eventually, through a couple of other events, managed to get in contact with the Dominion. A series of tests were performed with a new Borg weapon, first of all on a Jem'Hadar, courtesy of the mirror version of our resident Vulcan. That was then upgraded to a ship test and eventually even a planet test, which appeared to go very, very wrong, wherein a tower was formed which happened to be a certain planet that matched, in the Prime universe, the homeworld of the Bendrazi, and in turn formed one of the potential gateways through the Bendrazi wormhole. Back in the Prime universe, we had just had a successful test of the slipstream drive. This is just to give an idea of where we are in the timeline. Yet again, our sort of, should we say, speed crazy Andorian had invented a new manoeuvre where one would drop out of slipstream, slam what could basically be described as a handbrake manoeuvre around a star and then back into slipstream drive. However, this slipstream was way above what the ship could normally support, and as such some structural damage had occurred. Because of this structural damage, the Damocles was recalled back to Mars for repairs, and that's where we begin. Captain's log. Yeah, we've got a slipstream drive now. Computer, erase that, it wasn't very professional. Captain's log. A successful yet slightly damaging test of the slipstream drive has been performed. The crew frankly have impressed me with how they managed to integrate a new system into such an advanced ship. And I will admit that the fact that the crew of the Aventine lost their bet pleases me. However, we need to reinforce our structural integrity system. There is no way we can go to those slipstream velocities again without risking serious damage to the ship. And as such, we are heading back to Earth. Well, correctly, the to Mars, to Utopia Planitia, to have the reinforcements done, and to pick up a couple of new passengers who wish to inspect the ship and visit our crew. Due to the rather chaotic nature of our last few missions, I've authorised a extended rest and relaxation time as we head back. And I believe that the crew are running a... What was it? You see Commander Prude talk over to a ping pong match in the mess hall. Apparently it's between Lieutenant Junior Grade Ricky and our tactical officer. Last I realised, Lieutenant Ricky is winning. We now cut to the mess hall.
You're not going to take this on a lying down, are you?
Pretty much most of anybody who is not on the bridge is in the mess hall at the moment, watching this match. There's a tension in the air. Bets are going backwards and forwards. There is a jovial yet competitive atmosphere in the mess hall. So, Tira, you're going to be playing ping pong against our newly promoted ensign, who is now Lieutenant Junior Grade Ricky.
And I'm not happy at the score at the
No.
moment, and it shows in my face.
Oh yeah, it's Ricky is he's trying not to let the elation, knowing that he's beating what is technically his superior officer at the moment, but at the same time he's enjoying himself just a little bit too much as far as you're concerned. And I'm assuming that the rest, you two are also in the mess hall. You're either watching this. Now, if you wish to place bets, you're more than welcome to decide who you're going to place bets on, but I'll leave that between you two.
Be careful.
Yes, just remember who you're betting on.
Oh, should I have won at that last
Right, so now I've got to make sure that...
time? He's done for a while.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting because I've got to get his character sheet up. There we go. Now you notice Lieutenant Junior Grade Ricky, because he's been promoted, actually has an image now. Indeed, yeah. If he has an image, he's obviously a Bajoran. Not exactly the image I wanted because it didn't have the right pips, but for the moment we'll ignore that. So for the moment I've just got to get his bits and pieces up. So first of all, the way this works, it's like just a little fun game. It's going to be fitness and security with a base difficulty of 1. And Ricky is about to serve. Now he's standing the other side of the ping pong table. He's trying not to sort of give you the look, and sort of, he's trying to be stern, but he knows his security officer. He knows that he can't stare you down for long. So the way this works will be, let's say, it's a fitness and security to do a successful punk over the net. If you fail that, the point goes to the other person. And you go backwards and forwards until someone fails. And at the moment, as I say, Lieutenant Ricky is in the lead. Oh, and it's first to 11. So, let's do this. Fitness, security, complication of 1, first serve. Let's make this.
Oh, are you rolling with 5 dice?
He's got a fitness of 10 and a you are correct.
Wow. Why is this guy still so low rank?
No, that was that was. We'll put that down to him just showing off before the before the actual proper serve, like literally sort of like balancing it on the edge of the ping pong table. It's like, yes, Lieutenant, I was class winner on my graduating year, and just sort of flicks the ball up into the air, showing off slightly, and he's now about to do his proper serve. So we'll pretend that didn't happen. And here goes the first serve. He succeeds. Just almost hitting the net as it goes over. Ooh, you hit. Now, that showing off he did earlier, that angers you a little bit. And the ping pong ball, boom, powers over the edge of the net. The crowd are going, ooh, as it goes to intercept it. He pings it back. Again, slightly unnerved by the glare in your eyes as it just misses the top of the net.
Question to our DM.
Yes.
Do we generate momentum now?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, we do. This is one of the things that I was reading up on my website, forget the name of it. Basically, this is, like a cold open, and it's also, rather than doing like stupid stuff like scanning or things like that all the time, it's a way of getting momentum into the system and doing it as well. Boom. A nice return. Boom. Ping pong goes back over. And he hits the net. Boom. It is now 10-all. This is the deciding point. Tira to serve. The crowd have now gone silent. There's like a few bets have changed. Are you two making any bets? What are you two doing at the moment before we go for the serve?
Go ahead.
Go.
Davrin's not going to be doing any betting.
Neither is Todek, but he has his medical scanner out and is monitoring bioscience in both things.
Okay. So.
Ricky
Yes, sir.
drops the serve. We are not on the bridge. Also, what did I told you in the tactical training? Never underestimate your opponent.
That's very true, Tira. It's very true. It goes both ways. And you see him just go like that. It's like, it does the old neck thing, and then.
And I would like to, if you're allowed, I would like to use my talent.
Ooh, okay.
Cautious security.
Oh, why do
we
you...
roll that?
Letting the ship in ping pong, more or less the same activity.
Yeah.
No.
No. Oh no. I'm just going to give myself an extra threat for that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Also,
you.
I think you don't get to repeat the serve.
No, because you succeeded, but there was a complication. As long as you get at least one, then that's fine.
Okay.
Because it basically just sort of very there's a debate. It's like, did that hit the net? Did it almost get there? Oops, sorry, I'm messing up the thing. Okay, why is that not working? It's not allowing me to. Okay, there we go. All right, I'll worry about the position of that later. Okay, the ball arcs back towards Ricky. You can see that there's I wasn't expecting that sort of look on his face. He goes to hit it. He hits it back. Boom. Hits it back. Again, your Andorian strength is starting to show here. The ball comes back slightly faster than Ricky hit it back to you. And he hits the net. You win, Tira. 11-10. And the crowd, everyone's just going, Tira, Tira, Tira. And Ricky's just like, alright, fair play. Reaches over the table to offer his hands. The game well done.
Do you ever get the impression this crew's a bit starved for a real entertainment?
There isn't that many people on the ship. It's there's probably I would say 20 people in the mess hall. It's way bigger than it should be for a ship of this size. It's you could pretty much almost sit at a table for each person. That's how it's a biggish ship, but there's not that many people on it. Now everyone's getting excited. Bets are changing hands, and before long, you hear the unmistakable sound of a beep beep. Captain Puratu Tolik.
So like here,
Who won?
Lieutenant Tira.
And you hear a muffled, "Ha! Yes, I win! Pay up!" to a random person on the bridge.
Do I hear this?
Oh yes, you hear it. This is over the comms. And you hear a few people just go, "Ah, crap! Yeah, I forget the captain was betting," and you just pay up, come on.
Hey, Ricky. And now we drink.
It's like, that was a good game, sir. Gets you a synthol.
Drop this if we are not on the bridge.
Force of habits, Tira. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I just won a substantial amount of latinum from our first officer. Speaking of Vulcans, Tolik, can you come to my ready room, please?
Immediately, sir.
A few minutes later, Tolik, everyone's back at their duty stations, and a few people know as Tolik walks onto the bridge. There's a few people looking who's going, sort of almost like I think Tolik's been naughty. What's he been up to? What's like when you get called for the principal and you're like, hello, what's going on? And so you're at the door. What do you do?
Well, there is kind of a signal, so I will wait to be told that.
It's like the duty officer just goes, he's waiting for you, sir.
Then I will open the door.
Come in. As you enter the room, you see Captain Purr behind his desk. And Tolik, you also see another Vulcan that you recognise. It is your father. I have to make sure I get the pronunciation right because there was a bit of confusion about the names. Sielk. And he, Tolik, nods towards you.
Father. Captain.
Everyone does the usual polite nods. It's like, yeah, your father's here. This is the captain. It's like you can tell he's in that sort of. You see him sort of looking between the two of you, and yeah, there's the unmistakable look. There's no mistaking who Tolik's father is. It's he's got the same sort of style of hair, the same general bone structure. Even for a Vulcan, there's no mistaking that the Vulcan here, the new one, is the father of your science officer. And it's like, do you wish to do the briefing, Captain? Yeah, I'll do it. And it's like, Tolik. Now, I know you've been spending a lot of time with, and he looks at his friend. The crew start calling him now? Archie?
That is correct, sir.
Yes, and, well, apparently Starfleet wanted to make sure that everything was settling in, and that, there wasn't anything untoward, and, well, apparently your father requested this assignment. Something about and I quote, "The idea of an advanced AI is fascinating." And to which your father just nods. Also, I have some news to tell you, Tolik, and with respect to the captain, this is something I would wish to tell my son first. To which the captain's like, nods like. Plus, I was the more logical choice for this inspection. I have read the reports that my son has sent to the science division, and I am 95.6 confirmed. I just wish to speak to the AI to make sure that there is nothing untoward. To which the captain's like, well, we're going to be here for a little while. The repairs to the structural integrity field and the tweaks to the slipstream, not going to take that long, but if need be, we can always give you a ride back to Vulcan when you're finished. To which Siak nods. It's like, that would be agreeable. Tolek.
Sir?
And nods like, dismissed, Lieutenant. If you would take your father to speak to the AI, I would be most grateful.
Of course, sir.
Yeah. As you walk onto the bridge, you see everyone else is at their station, and again, the looks between the two of you. Like, oh yeah, those two Vulcans. You can see there is no mistaking. So before we're there, what actually are you two doing, the other two? Because as I say, this is going to be quite focused on Telek, and I don't want you to be ignored.
I am with Ricky still in the casino.
Okay.
Drinking of a special reserve of a contraband of an engineer of the ship,
Okay.
and talking about flying and piloting ships,
Okay.
like getting to know each other, befriending.
So just general chit chat. Okay. And I assume that Davrin is just doing his thing, whatever it is he's doing right now.
I'll be down with the engineering team,
Oh.
working on the warp engine.
Yeah, although the slipstream drive did actually work, it's worked too well. So I suppose you could say you're supervising, making sure that pointing towards like this is what happened, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So you walk towards the turbo lift and you head towards your lab. Now you're both standing there in the turbo lift, the usual stoic Vulcan expression. Father turns to you, says, "Your mother is with child." This is, again.
That is a agreeable development.
Indeed.
I hope her health is well.
She is doing remarkably well. She sends her regrets that she cannot be here to tell you in person, but she is currently on Cardassia. There is what did she call it? A rare blooming plant that only appears every 27.8 standard years, I believe. I believe she said. So she is there studying that. Unfortunately, the last time, yes, the last time she missed out because she was giving birth to you. So this was well, you know what your mother is like, trying to. She is a singular woman.
That is it.
And at that, turbo lift doors open, and it's a short distance to your lab. Archie is still in his container, and he was watching the ping pong match. In fact, on the monitor you can still see in the distance Tira and Ricky having drinks. On another monitor you can see Captain Purr doing the come on, like, to everyone else on the bridge who owes him that, and you can see him just like counting going almost slightly mocking them. You can see the engine room where Davrin is guiding the final tweaking of the slipstream drive. Ah, Tolek. Is this your father?
You are correct.
Do you,
Archangel Sialk. Sialk Archangel.
and Siak nods towards Archangel. It's like, a pleasure to meet you. Likewise. I must say, and this is Archie speaking, the resemblance between you two is most uncanny. To which there is a very slight eyebrow raising, and you would know, Tolek, that is the nearest your father ever gets to laughing.
Yeah.
It's very particular. It's only for a brief moment, but you know, obviously you've known him for all your life, and you know that when that happens, that is the equivalent of him laughing. It's like, well, this simply confirms what I suspected. The AI has a sense of humour.
That is correct.
I shall be passing that on to the science division. I approve of him as a crew member. This ship is fascinating. It is overpowered. It has way too much technology in it that I am happy with, but it was not my decision. What is your opinion on it and the crew, Tolek?
I think this ship is untested in some aspects. Definitely has great potential, as apparently does the crew, as our previous experiences show.
Fascinating. Before your father can reply, there is another bleep. Tolek, it's Captain Prue. Is your father with you?
Yes, Captain.
Can you bring him to the bridge, please? As soon as possible. Immediately afterwards, you hear all hands, yellow alert, across the entire ship.
Father, would you join me?
He indicates afterwards. Back on the bridge. You step onto the bridge and you notice that there is a bit of a commotion going on. And again, everyone turns immediately towards you two as you look in, and then back to what they were doing. You see on the view screen, it's a couple of Cardassians. One of them is looking very nervous. Captain, his jovial expression from earlier is gone. He looks angry and annoyed. And then he just indicates to one of the Cardassians on the screen. Right. Would you mind repeating what you just told me? To the gentleman that it matters to, and he indicates towards both Tolek and his father. The Cardassian behind, the one who's slightly nervous looking, sort of prods him, says, "Go on. It's his wife and his mother. Tell them." Sirs, we have some rather bad news for you. It's about your mother, your wife. The botany team she was with. They've been kidnapped by a group. I don't quite know how to say this, but the area they were in, we thought it was cleared. It was rather barren. To be honest, we were actually surprised anything grew in that area. It's one of the regions that were decimated when the Dominion did their attack at the end of the Dominion War. We received this message, and he indicates to Cardassian behind him, who hits play, and it's replaced by another image of a rather not stern looking, but if it was human, you would say he's probably in his late 50s, early 60s. Bit on, not so much on the chubby side, more muscular as far as a Cardassian goes. You can see this is a, if you had to put a name to him, this is a soldier Cardassian. And he just leans towards the camera. Federation. We have some of your people. You know who we are. And you know what will happen if our demands are not met. I am Golgolik. That name alone should tell you how serious I am. I have sent our demands along with this message. For every day that they are not met, one of the hostages will be killed. You have 24 hours. Bleep. Message ends. Cardassian's like, honestly, we don't think they were targeted deliberately. From what we can tell, they just happened to be the wrong people in the wrong area at the wrong time. Now this news hasn't gone public yet. The authorities know, and they recommended that we get in touch with you as soon as possible. We have roughly their coordinates, but we don't know exactly where they are. It's in an area we've referred to as the Barren Garden. It used to be a bit of farmland. It was, lots of plants grew there, but it's now basically just rocky wasteland. I cannot begin to express my condolences to both yourself and in nods towards Tolek. We are doing everything we can to locate them, but frankly, we don't have the resources. Hence why Starfleet suggested we get in contact with yourself. And Captain Prua just sort of looks over at both Tolek and Siak. Although it's slightly damaged the ship, we can have repairs done later. We have a working slipstream drive. We can be there in hours, if you wish.
Our assistance would increase the probability of successful rescue of Starfleet personnel.
That is good logic. And again, now this time, Tolek, I would like you to make a proper term is for this. This is going to be a perception roll, and this is for you though. I'm going to say this might probably be, I'm going to say science and insight for this particular one.
Okay. Complication range?
Just one, straightforward one, because you're familiar with your father.
One would assume.
Oh yes. You notice that whereas before, when his eyebrow went up because he found it amusing, this time both of his eyebrows are going. It's very, very subtle. 99% of the population would not notice this, but obviously you've spent a long, long time with your father, and you know him like nobody else does. You know he is pissed. He is angry, as much as a Vulcan can be. You know that, like, when he gets like this, he's going to have to go and meditate later. It was one of those. Whilst he would never express his anger with you or hit you or did anything like that, you knew that if he was, say, a Romulan or an Andorian or a human, he'd be punching something right now. But he's not. He's keeping the usual stoic Vulcan calm. And as far as everyone else is concerned, it's like, well, he's dealing with this well.
It would be useful area, on the kidnapping, and on this ghoul. Sorry, I didn't catch his name. When it's
Galek.
on this guy for like 2 hours shit for a bunch of stuff.
Okay, so you two are actually doing something. I'm going to give you guys these roles. First of all, I'll give one for Davrin, so you've actually got something to roll. So you're not just sitting there just listening to everyone waffle on. This is basically going to be the crew calling up, tapping away, getting the information. So basically, you're rolling for the ship. You're not rolling for yourself for this one. Where's it gone? This is going to be. This is going to be an interesting one because this is okay. You can roll for yourself if you want to, and then be assisted by the ship. So normally I wouldn't be this railroady, but I feel like you're just sitting there doing nothing. I don't want you to be bored. So.
Okay. Well, what kind of role?
It's probably going to be, say, command and insight, because you're trying to sort of get information on God Galek, find out what his motives are, what he's doing, why he would have kidnapped him, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is for Tira, afterwards you're going to be sort of rolling for like scanning the area and extracting information, that kind of thing. What's the matter with Grumble Cuts? Okay. Now, while she...
Having the ship assist me since I've got success anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's the information you discover. This is public records. And the ship's cat decides it's going to sit right in front of the camera. Just as I'm calling... Yes. So, hey, she's a Cation. Okay.
We should just be glad that she's not sleeping on the con.
Or decided. Yeah. Now, this information, you find out that Gol Galek was a highly decorated and respected officer during the Dominion War. But, he was quite a proponent of, being part of the Dominion when they took over. He was quite vocal. Whilst he wasn't a major fan of them, he's like, okay, this is the situation we're in. Let's make the best of it, kind of. He was a pragmatist. When the Dominion turned on the Cardassia, however, it's on record that something happened during that end war, the end part of the war, that caused him to, in effect, break his mind. Now, it's not 100% indicated in his record what it was, but there are hints that it was something to do with his family. You think it may have been a wife, a daughter, you don't know. It was never officially recorded, but all rumours seem to suggest that something happened to an important member of his family and they got killed. After the war, he was basically institutionalised until probably about 5 months ago, when he dropped off the radar. After that, there's no record of anything he did. Along with the video message, there was a list of demands. One of them being that the Federation acts towards Cardassia in the same way they did towards Bajor after the occupation. In other words, he wants the Federation to help rebuild a broken world. I know, it's shocking. So, you can hear in the background there's a discussion between Tolik's father and Captain Prua. And he's like, go to red alert. No, take the microphone. And you all noticed that there's a distinctive feel of the ship going to warp. And very, very soon after, slipstream velocity.
I'll wait for what looks like a lull in their conversation, and then politely interrupt so I can report what I found.
Okay. Now you do that. It's quite. The captain looks at your reports. I did hear rumours about this Gulick. He is a surprisingly intelligent man. And I believe he was also a very good engineer as well. It's how he rose up through the ranks of the Cardassian military. He was supremely skilled in both transporter technology and, I believe, something to do with, I believe he was also working on a system very similar to our holograms. And you notice that this is listed under his list of skills on his report. A few other things as well, warfare, guerrilla warfare, and you notice a curious item at the bottom as well. He was also an expert in counter-terrorism and guerrilla warfare. This is not a Cardassian you want to mess with.
I wonder if there's any way we can find out more about his family. It seems to me that his potential avenue of approach to him, suggesting that he's doing to others what happened to him.
This is easy enough to check on, but obviously you're going to have to go through the Cardassian records, and whilst they are relatively open to you, a lot was destroyed towards the end of the Dominion War, so there might be gaps, and you might have to sort of go in non-standard location. Yeah. So I'm going to assume this is going to be the same roll again, but this time it will be a DC of 2. I'm going to say that Tira, you can help with this one as the ship, because you're going to be accessing, should we say, non-standard records, things that wouldn't normally crop up in the search, and you're sort of, whilst you're not being rude to anybody you encounter, you're definitely implying that this will be in their best interest to help you.
I have technical expertise, by the way.
Okay, so yep.
I can re-roll one.
Yeah. What are you doing, madam?
Mine or the ship's life.
Okay.
What does the ship use?
The ship for this one, this is going to be interesting because there's really like a data thing on this one. So this I'm going to say will be, I'm going to say computers and command for this one.
Everyone alright with me spending momentum?
Sure.
Let me just and I'm going to be very careful because I've got very little desk room right now because of a certain fuzzball. Okay. So yeah, you get a boom. Now, through various records and things like that, you manage to find that there is a reference to a birth record to a daughter who was approximately about a year old when the end of the Dominion War happened. There is no further records of this daughter.
Do we have a name?
Ziral. Ziral. Ziral Gulick would be her name. Her mother, Fira, spelt very almost similar to your Andorian name, but with an extra couple of H's in it, like Thraah. Fira. That was a Cardassian name, which is an unusual name for a Cardassian, but a very brief history shows that her parents spent a lot of time on Andoria and their colonies, and they liked the name. So it's a almost Andorian name for his wife, or to be more correct, his ex-wife, because they are no longer together. And it's not long before you arrive. Let's see if this works. do you guys see Cardassia? And roll 20. I'm hoping I've moved you across.
Ignore at the moment.
Yes, you have to drag.
Oops,
the player
wrong
back
tab.
forward.
There we,
Yeah.
there we go. Okay, fair enough. Yep, I was dragged onto the wrong one. It didn't quite click on properly. Yeah, so you're now
It's not loading for me, but that's fine.
basically it's just an image of Cardassia showing roughly where
Yeah,
you.
I can see it on the other screen.
Okay, yeah. So you're sort of up there. There's a space station, and you can see. Yeah, there's a few other ships as well, but I've not put them there just to make things a bit easier. The slipstream drive, as far as you can tell, handled the jump, but the structural integrity damage has increased. There's reports coming in now, pretty much across the ship, that there is fractures in the superstructure all over the ship. Now, it's not going to cause any major problems. You can get back to Utopia Planitia under normal warp speeds, not a problem. But the captain is basically saying, right, we are not doing any more slipstream until this is sorted, because if we do it again, we're going to fly apart.
Yeah, maybe.
So, you're now in orbit of Cardassia. There is a rather urgent Billy on the comms. Captain Perra, like, take us back to Yellow Alert and answer that damn hail. Back on the screen, you notice the nervous looking Cardassian you saw before. The other person has gone and off doing something else, you believe. Thank you. We think we've narrowed it down, but we cannot narrow it down any further. There's several cave systems, and we believe he's put up some kind of scattering field across a disturbingly wide area. Our sensors can't, even with our space station, we simply cannot punch it. It's almost as if he's designed it deliberately so we cannot see him. We believe your ship can, or at least make it a lot easier. Again, and you can see it's like, I'm so sorry what's happened to your mother. We've got reports in that someone has been hurt, but we don't know who.
Then it would be prudent to stop the worrying and focus on the task.
Yes. And for Cardassian, even though they're naturally grey, this Cardassian's gone very slightly pale. It's almost as if you know that he knows he's going to be in the poop for this one. Someone's going to pay, and he knows it's going to be him. Another Cardassian pops in, a female Cardassian this time, leans over and just whispers in his ear. Oh, I do have some good news. We know it's not a Vulcan that's been injured, but the bad news is it's somebody else. Another Federation officer has been killed. Their body has been transported to our central plaza, and they have been beaten to a pulp. They're barely recognisable as human, and we believe they were part of the away team that was with your mother.
Chris, is it
Yeah.
before the deadline he gave?
Yes.
Oh.
That's why we're.
Somebody resisted, perhaps.
There's a brief. Captain Perra says, like, do you have an image of this person, as gruesome as it may be? And they just bring it up on the screen. And actually, no, Tulek, I would like you to make a a very brief medical exam on this one.
Sure.
This guy's basically just wearing a sort of standard shirt. You know, it's got the Federation logo and bits and pieces on it. But I'd like you to make this is going to be a DC of 2 because you're doing it remotely.
Yeah.
You don't have access to your scanners. You're just looking at an image. and you need to make a medical roll.
Yes.
So this is
medicine and insight or reason.
I'm going to say insight for this one.
Okay.
Yes.
That is not helping. Then just checking my focus is not really.
Not really on this one, no.
I mean, is it a human?
As far as you can tell, yes. It doesn't have any it doesn't have any blue skin. What you can see of it, it has purple.
I could now start for the xenobiology.
Actually, I'm going to say yes because technically xenobiology would apply because you're a Vulcan.
Nice. Yes. I keep telling them.
Yes. Yeah.
I would like to use a momentum, but I can't actively.
Oh, okay. Yes. So, yeah. So that's one thing I'm going to have to sort of try and figure out a way of dealing with that. So I'm going to move on back to the main screen right now. So you should all be on that.
Thanks.
Okay. So there you go. What did you get? You ask the person who is sort of supporting the body and start to move it. Stop and show that bits and pieces. I'm going to turn him around, have a look at him, and you notice that on his hands and arms, it's very badly bruised to the point where it looks like they've punched something. If you had to hazard a guess, you think that person has punched something, not to the point where either a wall or something that's really messed up their hands. Like, not just once or twice punched, like they were fighting for their life punched. So it, as you said earlier, I'm going to say that's sort of in character, sort of out of character. It looks like that person may have resisted and they have been beaten to a pulp because of it. So, cuts back to the Cardassian. Yeah, we found apparently there was a small data pad with him, and there was another message from Golek, basically saying, I kind of had to put this because it's a very Cardassian idiom and it loses something in the translation, but he seems like trying to sort of figure this out in his head, or I'm trying to figure this out, is do you believe me now? And it was signed Golek. The bridge has gone very quiet. There's even the captain. Normally, sometimes when he's stressed, you can hear him going tap 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 on his arm. Even he's gone quiet, and he's looking at Tolek and Celiac. Senior staff, to my ready room now. Cut to the ready room. A couple of minutes later, once everyone's arrived.
Are we already senior staff?
Technically, you are senior staff, yes. Because the Damocles, you're the senior staff who's on duty. Basically, it's there's yourself, a few others. Don't really recognise them, but it's you see that there's a few people from like the other shift, the other senior staff. They haven't got names at the moment. I'll come up with those later. We have a problem here. Not only is several of our Federation citizens in trouble, but they are, in effect, part of the family of one of our crew members. And I like to think that our crew is a family of sorts, so that makes them part of our extended family. And again, you can see that Celiac gives a sort of a nod of appreciation. Whilst he doesn't understand the fascination that the humans have on this emotional attachments, he understands that they do, and he appreciates the gesture. We need a plan, and he looks at Tira. Suggestions.
once we found where they're hiding, there are two possible courses running around in my head at the moment. First, we start a distraction with an extraction team while 2 to 3 people beam down into their compound and free the prisoners and beam out of there quickly. But that has the disadvantage that we don't know the exact layout, and what we know of Collet will probably suggest that he will have holographic defense and other traps ready for this kind of approach.
Captain's nodding. It's like, yes, I've heard reports that he came with a few ingenious, not so much traps, but yes.
The second approach would be exploiting his obvious weakness.
The captain sort of cocks ahead to say, "Go on."
His daughter and his family.
He leans back and does the.
If someone like he has experienced such a trauma that he is now practically someone he has hunted and despised before, a terrorist, we can hurt him or convince him via his daughter. Also, he seems to have good intentions. He wants Starfleet to help Cardassian Prime to rebuild. So that's also well, so but he's also unstable, though there's a danger there.
Yes, that's the thing I'm concerned
At the
about.
end, we have the quick and dirty way, where we probably have to improvise a lot, or the slow way where we need someone who can talk with people like that and exploit their psychological weaknesses.
You seem just like makes a little note on his pad, like he's typing something. It's like, and then he hands it off to his, I suppose you could say, one of the other senior staff, and goes, "Can you go and take that to the ambassador, please?" And you see him quickly run off and leave. As much as I would like the idea of going in, taking him out, I think we should at least try the peaceful approach first. Even though they have, from what we can tell, harmed someone, we are Starfleet. We are the Federation. That is not what we do. We are not some crazy doppelganger from a mirror universe or something like that. Yeah, was I get one in there? I had to get this one reference in there.
May I speak freely, Captain?
Of course.
As you said before, they've taken one of our family.
Indeed. Which is why, and before he says anything, there's a chime on the door. Which is why I'm sending along some help. The door opens. In walks Second. Take it the ambassador agreed to the plan. And Second, he's basically filling the doorway to the bridge. Yeah, first is bigger, but Second he's a muscular Jem'Hadar, and you know from experience, Tira, that whilst he isn't as bright as First, he obeys orders and he can put up a fight.
Second, do you still have your personal cloaking device?
Without even breaking eye contact with Tira, he just shrouds right in front of you.
Captain, I think we have found the one who can take the hostages out while we talk to the guy.
Turns, he shrouds right in front of you. With that very slight grin that you notice the Jem'Hadar and the Damocles have started to develop whenever they go on away missions. It's the, I'm going to get to hurt someone. So I think I'm going to take a little break.
right now. Kind of because I need to go to the toilet. Also, I need to put some lotion on because my back is really starting to itch right now. If anybody who hasn't realised, I got a bit sunburnt today, and I'm now starting to really feel it. So I'm going to have to go and put something on, otherwise I'm going to be really scratching tomorrow. But very quickly, I'm going to pop into the chat. Yes, my tribble is acting up. So I'm just looking at the chat. Yes, my tribble was definitely acting up. Can't split players yet. Yep, I'm going to go and put some. I've got some moisturiser, aloe vera stuff that I can put on. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it on. I'm gonna leave it on the main screen for the moment because I won't be back for a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, either chat amongst yourselves, do whatever, and we should be right back. I'm just going to mute the mic though. I'll mute this thing, so, and the desktop. And I'm back. Yeah, you can't really sort of see it on this thing because of the lighting, because I've changed to a different one, but to give you an idea of how bad I got burnt today, sunburn, natural skin colour. Like, you can see it when I poke her. But that, bought some, I think they call it like E45 cream with a bit of aloe vera in it, and it's like, oh, that feels so much better. So, yeah, it's going to be, I'm going to be doing a very good impression of I'm doing a very good impression of Zoidberg. So it's the worst bit is I've actually got a little bit. You can't see it because obviously my hair's in the way, but I've got a little bit burned on the head as well. Yeah, I knew I was going to get a little bit, but fault. Yeah, silly fault. Which also why my that's the make sure I've got it all in properly. Still didn't have the reaction I had last time when I got sunburnt. I didn't realise I got sunburnt, so I've come home, I had a shower, put all the shower gel stuff over me, and then I ended up having an allergic reaction to the shower gel. It's like, you think my face is red now? It was way worse. But yeah, clever me. Captain Allergies over here. So
So, if anyone's got any questions about today's stream so far, or the campaign in general, if I'd have suspected I was going to get sunburnt, I would have got some. Players are quiet. Yeah, it's the audio settings. I mean, what I can do is I can try and I think it's because it's going off the desktop audio, and mine's coming in more like a direct feed. So I'm going to try and crank that up just a little bit. Andreas, can you just test something for me? Yes, I am using Discord. Yes.
What should I do?
That's fine. Just sort of know. Just talk. So I've got a bit of feedback to see how. Because basically, you guys' audio is coming off of Discord, and mine's coming directly in the mic. Apparently, I can do that in the. Hang on, where's the? Let's see if I max. Oops, no, don't want to do that. Ah, there we go. Right, let's have a look. See, I don't want to start messing around with settings and then accidentally change stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out how I can increase individual people's volumes. No, don't want to disconnect from that. So let's see if this works. No. Right click on the name of the voice chat and increase the volume. Okay. Aha. Right. Okay. I'll do. Where's it gone? Aha, there it is. I just lost it. Okay, Andreas, can you just quickly say something, like just talk about your character or something for a second or two?
Yeah, I'm saying stuff now. I'm making shit up, and I hope
that's fine. That's fine.
you won't die.
Okay, I've increased the volume. I'll do it for the other ones as well by like 25%. So that should do it. I mean, if need be, I can tweak it a little bit further. But now I know how to do that, so that's not going to be a problem. Actually, screw it. Let's just crank everybody up to 200% because I can. If it's too loud, I can adjust the overall volume. In fact, I'll do that just now. Oops. Yeah, that's fine. I was expecting that. Okay, everyone should be like. Yeah, if you could just very quickly say your characters' names, just so I've got a baseline for the volume.
This round.
Oops, so one at a time. So my bad.
Please know the order then, if you want to.
Okay, let's go with Tolek first.
Lieutenant Tolek.
Tira.
Lieutenant Tira should this round.
And Davin.
Lieutenant Davin John.
Excellent. Okay. How was that? Because obviously what I hear and what the stream hears is going to be different. Excellent. Okay, cool. That's good. So basically what I've done is in Discord I've maxed out all your volumes, so now I've only got one volume to worry about and I can just adjust all of you at once by doing it this way. A little bit of a workaround, but it does seem to work. So just got to adjust that just a teeny bit more. Okay. Yeah, because mine's a live feed, you guys are going through our Discord, so it's a... This will spin out char. Okay. Right. Well, I'm now going to go back into Roll20. So that's it, and we're now back from the break. In game, it's been about an hour since the briefing. I'm going to give you guys an extra momentum to reflect. Your scanning of the areas, narrowing it down just to sort of speed things along a little bit.
So, if we're skipping past the meeting,
yeah.
I did actually want to say something before we took the break.
Okay, go for it. This is a flashback, so.
Yeah, so Davin basically just points out that as well as holograms, one of this guy's specialties was transport technology, so we should expect him to perhaps be able to block our transports or disrupt them in some way.
Agreed.
Okay, right. Okay, now this is going to be an interesting one because I need you on another map and I don't know how to... Okay.
Yeah. It will be our invisible shadow.
Right. Because obviously I need to keep track. In fact, screw it. I'm going to keep track of this sort of pen and paper until I can figure out a way of keeping you on the map screen and keeping track of the momentum and everything else as well. So it's going to be a bit of a rough and ready one. So I don't really want to have the momentum pool thing on there as well as the map as well, because I'm trying to figure out the thing about the pages, so it's a little bit janky at the moment, but we'll get there in the end. So at the moment you've got four momentum, and I've got 3 threats. So I'm going to keep track of it here, so don't worry too much about that. What I do need to do though is again put you back in orbit of Cardassia. Now you've managed to narrow down the location to the area known as the Barren Garden. It was originally called the Barren Garden in a sort of more ironic kind of way, because it was one of the more lush areas of Cardassia. There was a rich ecology, there was many plants that grew there. It was actually one of the reasons why originally Todd's mother wanted to go to this location, is to see that this particular plant that only grew in this particular area every, what did I say, 27 odd years or so, around that sort of time.
Yeah.
But she couldn't, because last time she was giving birth to a certain Vulcan. Unfortunately, after the war, it's pretty much a wasteland. And only a few plants have started to grow, even these 10 years since the end of the Dominion War. But this particular plant is one of them. It's surprisingly hardy. When she found out that something had grown in the Barren Garden, it was, to use her exact words, only logical that she goes there. And that's basically what happened. Her and the team gone to study the regrowth of plants in the Barren Garden, and had been kidnapped by God Golek. Now we're back on the bridge. Cardassia is visible. Captain Pro is basically right. Okay. Todek. Now I know that obviously you are Vulcan, but I am not going to force you to do this. We are of a small crew, and to be perfectly frank, I don't trust anyone else apart from you lot to do this. Stop giggling, Ensign. without even looking, he just points behind him. It's like, stop giggling. You still owe me latinum. I'm not going to force you to do this. We have security officers for a reason. But I understand that your father is agreeable to you going along. But I will leave the decision up to you if you wish to go on this this rescue mission. And you hear an unusual note of compassion in the captain's voice. Normally he's a sort of doesn't care what people think of him type person. You know, he will gamble, he will swear on the bridge, you know, he'll sit there and you think you haven't noticed, but you have noticed a couple of times sitting there and picking his nose and wiping it on the chair.
Oh, no.
He's you know,
I mean, I had very little respect for our captain already, and now you've just ruined what little I had.
He doesn't. As he gets more comfortable, he's not the sort of like really sort of picking his moves, sort of going, and just like leaning forward and sort of putting his hands on his nose. Now he thinks nobody notices that, but everybody's noticed.
Is there a galactic tissue shortage or something? I mean,
No, he just doesn't care.
Did he de-invent them?
Apparently.
He just
I've never
again.
seen one.
He doesn't care. There's actually been a few.
It's just his way of marking his territory.
There's actually been a few complaints, and you've seen the unofficial record. There's been a few complaints about the mess that the captain leaves his chair in after he's been sitting there. He'll be sitting there going, occasionally maybe having like a bagel or something, rather than sitting in his ready room. He'll be sitting on the bridge just going, what? He doesn't care. It's like, my ship, do what I bloody want on it.
To be a fly on the wall of a meeting.
Oh, it's Starfleet. No, Starfleet. No.
He must have other qualities.
It's more. There has been again some of the few rumours. It's like, how did he get command of this ship? How? What did he do? One of the more. This is just sort of pause in the narrative for a second. You hear that he apparently said or did something to one of the admirals that impressed them, to the point where he was considered to, when captaincy for the Damocles was shortlisted, he was actually the third choice. A bit of a background, he was the third choice for the ship. Nobody really knows who the first two were, but there are rumours. Anyway, back to the narrative.
Yep.
So,
Captain, if I was not certain that my skill set would be a positive contribution to this mission, I would not be wanting to participate. But I think I do. They do.
okay, you're on the team. Anybody else who wishes to volunteer before I pick the volunteers?
I volunteer, Captain.
That was a given.
Well, perhaps it's a given as well, but
No. He is legitimately giving you the option.
better let's not
Yeah,
split
I
up the
look
Three
at
Musketeers.
I look at Davron expectantly.
It's like as
Damn, try to avoid your gaze.
do you say the Musketeers thing out loud?
Yeah.
As you said that, it's like, oh, that's going to be stuck in my head now.
I asked to Tolek, who are the Musketeers?
It is a birth book about the adventures of some French soldiers.
You're Porthos, by the way, Tira.
So who's Athos and Aramis?
I'm Aramis,
Aramis.
obviously. So therefore, at least
Everyone wants to be Aramis.
Okay, then second could be D'Artagnan.
I sound pretty as D'Artagnan.
He's not going. He's on the bridge. He's not he's not on the waiting. He's staying on the bridge. He's monitoring stuff. So it's like you can see second just going, and he leans over to Ricky. It's like, who's D'Artagnan?
and our Dominion ambassador.
Oh,
by
so
the way.
so you cut out for a second then.
Our Dominion ambassador is Lady de Winter.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
You can imagine that in her, she's just like sitting in her chambers, just sort of slightly chuckling for some random reason. Like, don't know why this urge to chuckle. But yes, the Three Musketeers, were four of them, and you can see the captain just like, I'm going to regret this. Very well then, you have a go. So you're now going to head to the transporter room 1. Not 2.
In the turbo lift,
Yes, you're in the turbo lift going down.
says the Tolek, I promise you I'll get your mother out of there.
While your
No
intentions,
matter.
while your intentions are appreciated, Lieutenant, we are saving Starfleet personnel, so we should try to rescue whoever we can with the highest probability.
And it's your mother.
Yeah, that's actually a Vulcan breaking up inside.
Yeah, second is basically standing, keeping quiet, but watching both of your discussions. Not in like. But he has the expression on his face that can best be described as he's eating popcorn.
She's important.
Yeah, he's like
She's
you.
family.
Lieutenant Tira, may I remind you of the oft-repeated Vulcan statement, or statement of logic, that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one.
No,
That includes me and my family.
the needs of the one often outweighs the needs of the many. a wise man just once said.
I find that highly illogical.
Second leans over to Davrin. I have no idea what they're talking about.
I got a little lost there as well.
For a brief moment, there's a look of camaraderie between the two of you, as if to say, I have no idea.
This is a family situation. It has nothing to do with logic.
It is a Starfleet mission, and it shall be handled as such.
Turbolift finally comes to a halt, and you realise that journey took a rather unusual amount of time for such a small ship as the Damocles. And in fact, it gets to the point when the door opens, and you notice there's a rather pissed off looking Terrorite standing there going, "What the hell was you doing in there?" Looks up at the Jem'Hadar and goes, "Never mind," and just walks away very quickly.
We should have engineering take a look at the narrative.
Yeah, it's like you can see him sort of like, almost like hiding in the corridor, going, as if he's like, "I'll wait." It's because seconds imposing. He really is. And you get onto Turbo Lift 1 very, very easily. There's no problems, and then you beam down.
Where exactly are we beaming to? I feel like we didn't really get any actual details.
Oh, you don't need to. You actually managed to get pretty much spot on to where you need to beam down. That's why I gave you the extra momentum during the break, because I assumed this would have happened.
We are now doing that what Davrin can do best: bullshitting our way through the
Yeah. So this is
but this is
no
a Tonic
pressure.
episode, so I think we should give him the opportunity to do the bullshit.
a Vulcan bullshitting.
That's going to be interesting.
We have been known to omit facts on occasion.
Bullshitting.
There's some rather famous stories about Spock, as I recall.
He was creative with the truth.
But he was also not funny bug.
Ooh! Tonic throwing some serious shade there. Damn, that's a burn. And I'm sunburnt. Right. Hopefully this works.
Oh, you've lost some fans in the chat, I think.
Now,
As a player, I adore Spock. So
yeah, Spock's awesome. The thing is, his human side could appreciate the Vulcan, that being basically a Vulcan joke.
yes,
He would find that amusing.
I have a poster of Spock on my wall. So
So it's like, just, you know, like the Obama one where it says change. It's like that, but it's a picture of Spock just saying logic.
yeah.
Now this is where you beam down, and this is the map that was very generously allowed to be used on stream today by Stephen Joy. So big thank you to him for allowing me to use this map.
Thank you.
Big thank you. And seriously, go and check out his Patreon. There's some really cool maps on there. Really cool. I don't want to spoil it. Some of them, and there's the tiles, there's a few monsters, other bits and pieces, well worth checking out. And I'm not just saying that because he's using the map. I'm saying that because there's some good shit on there. Okay. Can you see on the map where you've beamed down?
Yes.
Excellent. Now this is the rough, shall we say, schematic of the area that you've been given by the local authorities. You notice that the area is actually surprisingly green, as you can see on the map. The lovely image that is provided, which is,
I assume it's not particularly to scale.
no, it's not exactly to scale, because otherwise it would be. But it's because otherwise you would be. I'm going to use a second here as an example. You would technically be that big if it was to scale. So this is all stylized, much as I can make it. I mean, these corridors are about. See, like the entrances here, they're about 1.5 to 2 meters wide, to give you an idea of the scale.
Okay.
So it's again, it's just stylized, just to sort of give you a rough idea. Now you know that there are life signs in one of the chambers.
Yeah. Tolek would start scanning
Where is it?
the area and for life science immediately.
Right, let's try and think, where is it in game elements? Make sure this is the right thing.
Here I have a phaser out, and I have to remind you of my talent constantly watching.
Okay, one moment as I'm trying to find the token. I don't know where that's gone. I'm looking.
While Chris is doing that, remind me, we came first.
Pardon? You cut out again.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit then.
For the plan, we're trying to talk first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you two are going to try to talk first.
Yeah.
I'm not good at talking, except for interrogations, intimidating stuff.
This is the, and there's more than one person here, but I'm just using this to represent where you're detecting the life signs in that chamber.
Question.
Yes.
Could I have Archie access my tricorder data to maybe assist?
I'm going to say yes, but it's not going to be easy.
Okay, that's fine. But maybe he can pick up on something artificial that we might not.
Okay. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So yeah, this will be a. I'm going to do this based on your stats, because basically you're relaying the information to Archie, saying like, "There's so and so here. Can you scan that?" And he reply backwards and forwards type thing. So this is going to be, I'm going to say science and insight, and this is going to be a DC of 2.
Okay.
And remember, you've got 4 momentum at the moment.
Yeah, I would like to use 1 at the moment.
Okay, you've now got 3.
Since I'm scanning for life signs or anything alive, I think my focus applies one of them.
Yeah, your xenobiology one.
Biology, xenobiology, whatever.
Yeah, any of those would be fine. Yeah, because it's basically you're checking to see if there's been how many life forms have passed by, if there's any residual DNA, anything that's popping up on the scanner. Okay, and so you get that momentum back. So you've now got 4.
A little question.
Yes.
Can second be cloak, because I don't know how a ghoul would react to a gem hadar after he watched the Dominion destroy his homeworld.
Okay, I'm going to.
Why did we bring him?
Muscle.
Basically, yeah. Okay,
that's what Tira was for.
This is a.
The captain doesn't trust my abilities.
Choose when he's just following orders, so
Basically,
right, try not to show yourself then. So.
That icon is basically showing he's shrouded. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So.
What you find that there are. Where's my pencil thing? This is going to be easiest to do it. You find that there is an energy field of some kind here. You notice there's another one here, where the blue bit is, and several more scattered throughout the cave complex.
Interesting that here isn't one.
Well,
wow.
They don't need that if they have the other ways blocked.
So, in fact, that entrance is probably, one of the least efficient routes, actually.
What it is the least efficient route.
Something else you do notice, Tolek, is rather interesting. Some of the life signs have an odd quality to them. So I'm going to get you to make another science and insight roll, but this one's going to be another DC of 2.
Okay.
But again, there's something slightly off about these life signs.
I would again spend a momentum.
Okay, so the momentum has 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you make that. Make that, no problem. You believe that there are holograms walking around here. Very sophisticated holograms. And not to the level of the EMH, because you can pick up the emitter, that there are emitters in there. They're pretty obvious, and these are chunky things. They're not like the mobile emitters like Voyager's Doctor had. There's obvious hollow emitters in there, and these are portable emitters. So obviously there's some kind of holograms going on, and the area it covers is pretty much most of this cave complex with a little bit left over. I mean, it's, if I had to draw a circle or a line, I'm just going to do a dotted line to sort of give you an idea. Basically, the area right where you are and around the cave system, so sort of up there and up there. You believe the centre is roughly where the life signs are, give or take.
I will inform the others of this finding, of course. There seem to be sophisticated holograms in effect in this area.
Perhaps we could take advantage of Archie's computing power to figure out a way to hack the emitters.
Archie,
Tolek?
would it be possible for you to influence the detected hollow emitters in this cave system?
I would need to have your tricorder close to one of the emitters to confirm this, but I believe, theoretically, it is possible.
When the opportunity presents itself, I will provide this opportunity.
I await further communication. So,
The question is, what do we do with the energy fields?
The question is if we should announce... Well, our presence probably has been detected. The question is if we should announce ourselves. Lieutenant Devon?
Well, I think since we're here to talk, I suppose we ought to, but there doesn't seem a particular reason at all to be quiet in the open. Certainly not second, seeing as he's cloaked. Perhaps we should try and take advantage of the terrain, just in case.
How so?
Well, if we end up getting out in a... Not all of us, we're just standing like lemons.
Maybe maybe our security forces should get into a more strategic position.
I think we should stay. We three should stay together, because if one of us would move unseen with a very slight hint, that would cause more suspicion, and we are just here to talk, remember? It's not.
Of course we are.
We decided against sneaking around and freeing the prisoners.
Tolek, you feel something brush past you. And the thing about the shroud is it's not a perfect cloak. If you're close enough, you can see a predator-style shimmer. But in the heat of battle, or like there's like fog or whatever, you would not be able to see this person. But it's not perfect. It was never meant to be perfect. It was designed purely of terror. And if you saw Jem Hadar just suddenly appear in front of you, running towards you, you'd cack yourself. And that was one of the things it's designed for. So, second, getting the rather obvious hint, moves up to here.
Right.
You see him disappear. I'm going to move him over here for the moment because you don't know exactly where he is.
Yeah.
You see him go into this part of the cave system. Well, you see the shimmer disappear into the cave system.
Todek would at this point just walk into the, well, let's call it hologram field.
Okay.
Just in the expectation that he will be detected.
Nothing's happened.
Follow him here.
Okay, now Tira, what I would like you to do.
Yeah.
Because this is your bag. This is your speciality.
Yeah.
Let's try and think what the actual thing would be. I would like you to make a insight and security roll.
Does my focus and
Yes.
infiltration help?
Yes, this one will do.
What is the difficulty?
This is going to be a 2. And
I would like to take momentum.
So you've got 3. You've now got 2. Oops. Okay. I'm going to take another threat. I now have 4 threat.
Why do you take another threat? I rolled a complication.
Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry. I am really not with it today. You are correct. This is why having somebody else who knows the rules is helpful. Now, you can't hear or see or anything. You don't think you've been detected, but you are now within the area of where the holograms would appear if they're going to appear.
I think we should just call out, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pardon?
Devlin,
Sure.
you have the face.
Remind me what this chat's name was.
Gul Gulek.
Gol Gulek. Okay.
I think I've got his full. From my notes, I've got his full name here because this is something that would crop up on his notes.
Well, he'll probably prefer we use the title, I suppose. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's how he introduced himself, yeah.
Yeah.
That is very true.
So Davrin takes another step forward.
Yeah. His first name is Alket.
Alket. Okay.
Alket Gulek. That's his full name.
Gol Guket. We're representatives of a federation here to... And obviously he says a lot louder than that.
There's a brief pause and you hear from my indeterminate place. It's like, that was not a bad attempt, Starfleet, at pronouncing my surname, but it's actually Gulek.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no, it's you hear a slight chuckle. It's like,
I'm in our character, guys. In the audience, I'm also extremely tired.
no, it's perfectly fine. It's you hear again. You can't quite work out where it's coming from. You hear, I've always loved the way you humans try to pronounce my name. It's.
I look at my blue hands. I look at Tolek's ears, and then it's
my not
exactly.
obvious smarts.
So.
Did
Yes.
I forget to put on my spots today?
Well, whatever.
You get the feeling that he said humans deliberately.
Man, now he's the racist, Tolek.
I think. So,
All right. Well,
I think I know why you're here.
someone's projecting from like a speaker or something.
You can't quite sort of work it out, but it's. You think it's coming from the rough direction in front of you. You can't exactly say where, but. Okay, tell you what. All of you to make a perception test.
Oh, I don't want to because I'll fail badly.
No, this is going to be an easy one. I'm going to make it.
Yeah,
well,
they're all easy. I always fail.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to say engineering and insight for this one.
Engineering?
Yeah.
Because it's to do with the shields. Probably.
Yeah.
Engineering and insight.
again
well.
with infiltration, folk.
Not really.
No, I don't think my focuses work.
What's your focuses again?
Oh, I'm sure they don't work. Astrophysics, quantum mechanics, and warp.
No, they wouldn't. You can see towards the end of the cavern, roughly.
Oh damn! I rolled well.
Yeah, it happens. Roughly here, you can see one of the hollow emitters, and there's a cable running through the field towards the back, and that's, you believe, is where the voice is coming from.
Okay.
Well, we believe.
That's where it sounds. If you had to pick a point, you would say
Yeah.
that's probably where it's coming. It's not coming from behind you. It's not coming from the left. It's probably coming from that.
So at the moment,
place.
he's just using the audio function of the hollow emitter.
At the moment, yes.
We should. Tolek would approach slowly.
Okay. As
The
you get,
tricorder is still out all the time. Not the feather though for him.
yeah. As you get
Just
closer, you
what
can hear. That's far enough.
Okay.
These discussions would no doubt go a lot easier.
So-
Proxy of you.
I'll be right back. I just have to close the window. Just
Okay.
a second.
So, in the meantime, here's some music. So there's a sort of. It doesn't really matter. It's like a little rustle.
Golden puts us on hold.
Yeah, it's like a hold, please. You hear the Cardassian equivalent of elevator music pumping out from the hollow emitter.
Green sleeves. on loop.
Okay, people outside being loud. Sorry.
Okay. You then hear, of course, where are my manners? And an image appears.
I think manners work.
Basically, that's the best image I could get for him. And you see him standing there. He's got his hands behind his back. He's like, I was wrong. They didn't send humans. They sent an Andorian. And you see him sort of... like he appears to be squinting at Davrin. Trill? And then he catches eye with Tolik. And you see, for a brief moment, he's taken back. With a... and then there's a grin. Oh. This is interesting.
How far is he standing away?
And I would say that's approximately 50 feet. 50, 60 feet, because I mean distances are abstract in this game, so yeah. About that 50 to 60 feet.
Just calculating if I could reach him.
Well, it's not really him.
Yeah, that's the other question.
Well, there's an emitter right there. I told you that.
Yeah.
Just like, yes. This does make things interesting.
That's not quite the word I would choose in your position.
Well, I knew they were going to send some people from Starfleet. I expected an Andorian. The trio was a surprise, but not outside of my calculations. Same for the Vulcan. But I did not expect them to send her son. There is no doubt she is your mother. You have the eyes. And you get the feeling he's, even through the hologram, that he's not trying to goad you, he's being genuine. You know, it's, if this was a human, he'd be trying, it was as if he's trying to compliment you. And that's Tolik. Now that you've made eye contact with him, I would like you to make a science and insight roll. Yes. This is going to be a DC of 1.
Okay.
Remember, you've got 2 momentum.
Yes.
Not anymore.
You have 4 momentum.
4 momentum.
You notice that there's a look, an almost look of sadness that very briefly crosses his face at the mention of the family. It's very quick, but you notice it.
Gulgulek,
Yes?
how may we resolve this situation peacefully?
Simple. Abide by my demands. You've already seen what my crew is capable of, although personally I regret that he got harmed. The human was rather impetuous, and he was warned not to antagonise the guards. He paid the price. I don't wish to harm people. I wish to rebuild Cardassia, to return it to its glory. I don't want anyone harmed.
Out of
but I will
char-
if I need to.
Out of character.
Yes.
Isn't the Federation already helping Cardassia with
Yes,
building?
they are. But obviously, because of the Dominion War and everything else like that, it's probably not going as fast as it was in comparison to when they were helping Bajor.
Okay.
Whereas Bajor was pretty much, as soon as like the wormhole opened, the Federation went, we need to help Bajor and get them back on their feet like right now. Whereas Cardassia's like, to get in comparison, it's more a case of we will help you when we can. In comparison. But Bajor was pretty much transformed over a decade from a planet it was to being considered to be one of the gems of the Federation almost, or almost Federation, considering they're not quite in the Federation yet. Whereas Cardassia was more a case of, yeah, you're lower on the priority totem pole. We will help you, but not right now. Or, we'll give you the bare minimum that we are obligated to do.
I would assume humanitarian aid or.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah,
provided.
The basic equivalent, like medical supplies and making sure the food stuff is.
Humanitarian aid.
Yeah, good. I like it. That's a good one. But anything more than that, it's like, is this a project? For example, the Barren Guard. Is this a project that would help Cardassia? Technically, no. So it's a low priority. And that's something everybody, that's like, you would know. That's part of your standard sort of briefing and things like that.
Are you a student of history, Galgulek?
I have been known to partake, yes.
Well, it's recent history I wish to discuss in any case. You, in a man of your position, of your rank, ought to know that the Marquis were considered terrorists, and we did not assist them.
As you say that, there's a noticeable grin on his face, as if, and it's almost a wistful look in his eyes, as if to say, I remember hunting them down. Glory days.
We did not assist the Marquis when they were, rebelling against the Federation. And in fact, you ought to know that by killing a person, you weakened the likelihood that your wishes will be granted. I fail to understand why a man of your obvious has chosen a path which is, frankly speaking, not exactly likely to lead to success.
You can see that there's just a grudging, now I see why they sent a troll. Well played. Well played. Honestly?
Well, honesty would help, I'm sure.
And you can see as if you're just standing there pondering. Holographic image just cuts off. Disappears. There's nothing. You see, the holometter's still there. You can see it's still active. It's just as if it's gone touche.
Well, negotiations seem to have broken down.
That works well.
Todek will take the opportunity.
Yep.
Not well in a measured pace. Walk up to the holo imager.
Okay.
Shikor is still out.
Alright, I'm just going to put them up here for the moment, just in case I need to use them again.
So yeah, he is moving up.
I'll put him next to
up,
second.
moving
Okay.
up, moving up, moving up, moving
Okay.
up.
Nothing appears to be triggered.
Okay. And yeah, he is not scared. He's not scanning like this.
Okay, so it's like
It's
sort of like.
at the
So,
hip. I mean, it's he has it as at his hip, so you can glance down. But
Alright, now you go up to the emitter. Now you look at this, and this is a fairly obvious Cardassian holo emitter, which is in itself unusual because Cardassians don't generally use much of hologram technology. That's always been considered to be a Federation thing. Now, obviously, they're not completely against it, but it's just not their thing. You could understand, say, maybe the Romulans using it, or you could see where, like, you've heard the stories from Voyager of the Hirogen using it for training purposes and things like that. And of course, there's the more entertainment purposes. But a Cardassian holometer? That's unusual, but not unheard of.
So basically, I'm just getting close enough for Archie to, get a read.
Now, you get close enough. There's nothing you can see that untowards about it, apart from the fact, like I say, it's just Cardassian rather than Starfleet.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Tolek,
And
you get a message come through in your combat. Tolek,
Yes.
that is a unusual holo emitter.
It is.
Could you please scan it for me?
Yeah, well, that's what I was,
No, that's what he's obviously you can't see 100% what you're doing.
Okay, yeah. I am currently in the process.
Interesting. You asked me to scan for possible security breaches, such. I believe this holo emitter is one of them. It is connected to a small network within the system.
That is interesting. Could we use it to advance our strategic position?
I believe this is possible. However, I would not be able to do this. I will be able to assist, but it must be done manually.
Right. Out of character, who
Yes.
of you guys is the better engineer?
Strictly speaking, it's
Hold on. That would be Barren.
yeah.
Well, but we are about equal in skill, so well, now the emotional part comes out as in Todek wanting to do this himself.
Okay. Well, so yeah, you can be assisted by the ship in this, because it's basically
Please guide me through the process.
that would be a trivial task.
Okay.
Alright, so where's my
What's
notes?
the ship's role?
I'm about to find out. Because I've lost my reference sheet. Where the fuck is that one?
Sensors and engineering?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to say sensors and engineering because it's being routed through the tricorder up to Archie, and he's just going, yep, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, boom, but then stuff like that. And this is going to be a
Thank you, Tara.
yeah. So as long as you get a success, you will get.
Okay. Yeah, is it inside or reason? Inside.
This one I'm going to say reason because you're trying to figure out a pattern.
I like it.
Yeah. So you've got at least one extra momentum now.
Maybe there's some more.
You're now capped on momentum. You now have 6. Now, where's it gone? Bear in 1 moment. Trying to find out where the eraser part of it is. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do.
You can just drag a thing around it and then mark it and delete it like a token.
Okay, let me just send that to the back first. Aha! There you go. That force field drops. And your scans tell you that another one has dropped as well.
Which one?
That one.
Could you give me a ping for
Oh,
that?
sorry.
I missed it.
Okay,
This
yeah,
one.
yeah. It's basically that one.
Ah.
That one over there.
Oh, nice. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, because there was one sort of around that point, and there was the entryway there. The one to the left as you go in, that was shielded. But now there's a clear path.
Second should be pleased.
Yeah.
That was out of character.
Okay.
And I kind of indicate to the others with hand gestures, force you down. And
Tira goes
Awesome.
first, and
also I try to communicate. But when Shira's next to me, I tell her that the other one, which other one also dropped.
I'm going to use second as a marker to sort of show which one was down, just make it a bit easier so you've got a reference.
Okay, yeah.
It's not actually there. It's just to sort of show where the field was.
We ought to move very quickly now.
Or-
Because
and,
the guy is loopy.
and cautiously. I think
Right.
there is a reasoning behind his actions. It is just based on twisted assumptions.
is it madness, so it still has method?
It definitely has methods.
Tira, you have the always alert thingy, don't you?
Yep.
Okay. No, okay. Just checking. Can you make a security and insight roll, please?
Yeah, and
This is going to be a DC of 2.
okay, then with my thingy, it's a DC of 1 if it is about ambushes and
Yeah.
hidden dangers.
Yeah, all these kind of things. Yeah, this is definitely appropriate.
And infiltration program.
I'm going to say yes for this one. Because it's technically what you're doing. Okay. You notice straight away there are several cables lying along the ground. Some of them have been hidden, some of them are left wide, not wide open, basically on the surface, as if they're not cared. You also notice there is a rather obvious series of tripwires and detectors all along that corridor.
I motion the others. I show them and just step where I step, touch what I touch.
Okay, show me where you're moving to, please, Tira. Not how you're moving, just where you're moving to. Okay, that's cool.
So that I can look into that hallway.
Oh yeah, you can see that there are a couple of Vulcans, including Tolek's mother. She's looking healthy, as far as you can tell. She's standing upright, looking around. For a briefest moment, you make eye contact. Very brief, but she carries on looking around, as if not to give the game away. You also see roughly... where's it gone? Where's it gone? Okay. Roughly here... in the background, what appears to be a hole with machinery around it.
What kind of machinery?
Let's make a test to see if you notice what type of machinery it is. So for you, I'm going to make this as engineering and insight.
Yes. Can I get an extra dice for momentum?
Yes, you can. And I'm also going to allow you to have, if you wish, to be assisted by this, if you wish, because
I don't know if the others are following me.
Well, I think
yes.
you probably would have been.
Yeah, they would have been. It's just
I mean, you told us to.
yeah, they are basically right up your butt.
I would like Tolek to assist me.
Okay.
Sorry, Ross.
Thanks. No, I would in your position.
What was it? Inside and engineering?
Insight and engineering. Yeah, both of you make the same roll because this is. It's just to see if you can identify what this machinery is. Okay. You believe it to be a mining rig of some kind.
A what?
A portable
Mining.
A portable mining rig, basically something to drill a hole. And from what you can tell, it's been very recently used.
And it doesn't look like standard Federation-ish.
No, this is pretty much obviously Cardassian technology. You know, it's nothing fancy. You know, there's nothing that stands out that makes you think this is unusual. It just looks like standard Cardassian mining technology.
Is it?
Okay.
Is it for drilling downward, or
Yes, it's for drilling downwards.
like
And-
placing a bomb in the planet's core downward, or?
You do notice there is something that can best be described as a... I don't know what the best way to describe it is. You know those things that grab?
Well, like the
Yeah.
crane games.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah.
And you can see it at the top of its... there's like the frame, I suppose you could call it, above the hole. And it's empty.
No signs of the other hostages, just
There's a few of the other ones. There's a couple of Vulcans sitting down. There's like one of the Chitons, another human. But as far as you can tell, nobody else appears to be injured.
Dolek. Are they holograms or real there?
Scanning.
Okay, so at this range it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And you notice there is an odd interference between yourself and the area you're trying to scan. That's not a major amount of interference, but it's enough to make your readings a little bit harder to read. So this is going to be a bit.
Alright.
It's going to be a little bit harder than it normally would be. So for you,
Okay.
I'm going to make that as a science and insight, please. A DC of 3 for this one.
Can Archie assist?
Yes, he can.
Yeah, and I would like to spend a momentum.
By all means. So you're now down to 5.
Well,
Okay. Yep, as far as you can tell, they are healthy. Your mother's pregnancy shows up like a bright light. Pretty obvious. Can't say boy, girl, or anything like that yet, but it's, as far as her medical readings are concerned, yeah, it's obvious she's pregnant. She may not be showing it physically, but it's enough there. There's enough. As far as you can tell, everyone is healthy.
and real.
Yes.
Andrew.
That's
And
what
you
I'm
also
looking
notice
for.
you also notice something odd as well.
Yeah.
There's no Cardassian life signs.
Fascinating.
Mm.
Not detecting any Cardassian.
Yes.
I suppose we should have expected that.
But he spoke of a crew. Oh, yeah, crew. I think he said crew.
And maybe an holographic crew,
Right.
an holographic imprint of him after he died.
Oh, that's interesting. But certainly, a holographic crew would make a lot of sense, especially if they're such as would not know when to stop when beating a man.
Yeah. I carefully go here.
Poker face.
Archie. So like to Archie, Archangel.
Yeah, a slight chuckle come from Archie. Archie is acceptable, Tolek. How can I help?
Did you detect in the hologram or in the holographic emitter any form of artificial intelligence
Of my level? No.
of any level?
I detected photonic emitters across the entire cave system. I detected a surge shortly before you went into the cave system. But since then, I am not picking up any photonic emissions.
Fascinating. What could be the cause of such a surge?
I believe, based on your scanning of the system, the surge would indicate that the system was active.
Alright. Thank you for your assistance, Tolak.
Okay,
Okay,
Tira.
so
Yep.
There, very dry. Again, you cannot see anybody else apart from the hostages in the chamber. Get her name right again. Where has it gone? Right, I did write it down for a bloody reason as well. Tasai.
Tasai is mom,
Tasai.
yeah.
Tasai. You see Tasai again. She makes eye contact with you and very brings her hand down.
Can I sneak up to her?
You can attempt to.
I can certainly try.
You can. I'm trying not to do that, but yes, you can certainly try.
Okay, what I do for that?
Okay, this was going to be. I'm going to say security, and
That's
I'm going to say daring on this one.
Very good, and I'm still infiltrating.
Yes, those ones went because you asked. I imagine you sort of very gingerly sort of poking your head around, maybe using reflections off the machinery that's in there to see if there's any other people moving around, all that kind of stuff.
What's the DC?
This is going to be C1.
For fun?
Just the one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You go into the room, and Tisai looks at you. So, I must apologise for the caution. We have believed in the past we have been on our own, only for their security to appear. We must be vigilant.
Is the security holographic nature?
As you say that, her eyebrow raises. And if Tolik was here to see this, he would recognise this as a very distinctive. You said what? A reaction from her, as if you caught her by surprise, as if that thought never occurred to her. But you didn't.
No,
but you didn't notice that. But like, I am assuming you are from Starfleet to rescue us.
Mm-hmm. And ma'am, I have to say sorry for my next course of action, and I have utter respect you, but you are my prime priority, and I take off my compatch, put her onto just round to Damocles, lock on my compatch and beam it out.
How much threat have I got again?
What? What?
Remember his our Bigu's training. We decided against that.
I'm going to give you one chance on this one. Are you sure you want to do that?
How many momentum do we have?
5.
Say goodbye to your mother and unborn.
Yep.
Well, this is going to cause a
clear no. I don't hear clear no.
Tolik saying no for this one. Do you? I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Do you trust me?
This is.
It's not really about trusting you here.
Yep.
Good. The question is now, would the ship make a roll or would I make a roll?
That's entirely up to you.
Because I would like to make the roll and invoke a value of mine.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Go on.
The value luck favors the bold.
I suppose that was a pretty bold move to possibly scatter the atoms of what you would probably consider to be your friend's mother and unborn child across the cosmos. That is a pretty ballsy manoeuvre.
I mean, if I would have more points of determination, I could also use trust your emotions, because I think it's the right thing to do, and always protect those around you.
Alright, because this is involving a character that's quite important to Tolik, I am going to ask you, Hanno, are you okay with this? Because this is a big thing that could happen.
I would expect Tira to stick to our plan. Because we are not in any danger of abandoning the hostages.
So
No.
okay. This is how I'm going to rule it. You go to put the comm badge on her. She immediately slaps your hand out the way. That would be a rather foolish idea, Andorian. She just gives you a look that only a mother can give.
Only a Vulcan mother.
Even worse, this is the look just to say, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
And what's worse, I arrived there by logic.
Yes. And she's just like I say, the eyebrows is just like, that would not be a good idea. Although I appreciate that. That's fine. I appreciate and understand the sentiment. However, Tolek, and she sees you. She sees you for the first time.
Mother.
And why are you here?
My scientific specialities made it a logical choice to have me involved in this mission.
Tira rolls her eyes.
So, that is most fortuitous.
Feel alone.
Yes. Hey, for a Vulcan, that's the verbal equivalent of running over and giving him a hug. That really is. So, what did you? She looks down at your scanner and say, "Are you able to scan for photonic life forms?"
I shall do so again now.
Okay, I'm going to give you this one for free. Because this is
Okay.
it's quite an easy one. You have to scan. Although you detect residual photons of the type, you detect nothing that could be considered a photonic life form.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you relay this to your mother. And upon hearing this, the whole away team relax. It's like, yes, there are security measures around here. This place was secured when we were brought here, and they made a rather curious point of pointing out. And she points to a few objects scattered around that you recognise are as transporter disruptors. And she turns to Tira. If we had beamed out, there is a good chance myself and my unborn child would be dead right now. And she gives you the, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed look.
Tolek just moves an inch out of the way of that look.
It's
very subtle.
It's like, yeah, you've seen that look many times in your childhood, and
Yes.
it's, for the briefest of moment, there's like a brief montage in Tolek's mind of all the of the times, like, you know, knocking over an item as a child, being stood over as if
That time he slightly raised his voice.
yes,
Yeah.
or
Like a few decibels.
or fail to get top marks in his exams, that kind of thing. You know, the day he brought home a B on his grade card, that kind of thing. Again, you recognise this look.
Yeah, he's just stepping out of the way of the beam. Very slightly.
Are these all of you, or are there anyone missing?
Apart from, and there's a brief pause. Oh, he's only been with the team for a few weeks, but Stefan was talented as a biologist. His loss diminishes us all.
So then let's get out of here quickly, and then you can remember
And
your.
she puts her hand up. You can hear her looking around. I can hear something.
That's probably second.
Yeah.
And yeah, as on cue, the shroud drops with a, and there's a very slight panic in everyone's look as a Jem'Hadar materialises. So they have a
Do
Jem'Hadar,
not be alarmed.
and you hear one of the humans go, "Bloody late for that."
But while somebody explains to them who the second is, Todek will just go into the hole and do a quick scan.
Okay.
Because he's still extremely curious. He will not leave that unprobed.
Okay. This one's going to be a science and like a science and insight roll with an assist from the ship.
Okay.
Again, via the your tricorder
Do you
backup.
want to roll the Ross?
No, not really.
Okay. Let me just one moment. And this is going to be a DC of 1 for this one.
Okay.
And probably again with sensors.
Yeah, same stuff as well.
And engineering then, or science.
For this one, I'm going to say engineering actually,
Okay.
because you're trying to examine the hole itself and what's going on with it.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, as far as you can tell, this wasn't a hole designed to put something in. There's a few little scrape marks. There's obviously that something's gone down and brought something up. And from how deep the hole is, based on the strata and everything else as well, does anybody have geology as a focus or anything like that? Planetary science.
It's not alive. Xenobiology, biology, virology, and infectious diseases.
No, it's definitely none of those.
Yeah.
Okay, it takes you a little while, and with discussion with your mother and a few other people around as well, you estimate that whatever was down there would have been down there around 300,000 years ago.
Fascinating.
Whatever was there is very, very old.
Yeah.
Whatever was there, to be more exact.
Todek will scan get everything he can from that. Just
It's
one of these.
inconclusive.
Yeah, but it's one of these. Maybe we'll need it in the future.
You can scan it, but this thing is deep. This hole was very deep.
Okay.
You're looking at the mining rig. You think it was pretty much at the limit of how deep this mining rig could go, short of having a professional major mining operation. That's to say, this was deep.
Can I remember your scientists that we are still in a possible hostile environment?
Yeah, they were poking around the hole, going anything else like that.
And we might want to acknowledge the fact that there is bound to be a sinister reason.
So you cut out again.
Yeah.
There's bound to be a sinister reason for him to abandon over. He should have been gone.
Yeah.
We should, yes. Well, lead the way, Lieutenant.
Let's move.
Okay. Which route?
Second.
Before you go,
I'm going that way.
which route are you taking?
Second,
Show me a little bit at a time. Just what route you're taking. This is important.
Oh,
I will convene with second.
Okay.
How the route he has taken is on the safety.
As far as you can tell, although there was a few traps, there wasn't that many traps. There was a couple like here and there. And on examination of the traps, you realise that none of them was actually designed to hurt anyone. They were designed to incapacitate, to stun, to prevent them going forward. None of them were designed to do more than a basic injury to slow people down.
I think that when you hit a point with your argument, and then I would just suggest to take the long way around, because they wouldn't expect that.
Okay, show me exactly what path you're taking, please.
Agreed.
To make it easier, I'm going to say just Tira, move, and I'll assume that everybody takes the same route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a sec.
One sec.
Well, yeah.
While Tira is leaving, Todek picks up her combat. Well, but,
Yeah, remember.
I was assuming that this already happened.
You didn't say it was on the floor.
it was on the floor.
So, slap
Okay,
that.
we'll be precise on the future.
Okay.
This is why Hanno plays the Volk. So precise.
Okay. Yeah. Show me which way you're going.
And then here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I'll let you know if something happens.
Okay. We will be going cautious, silently, and watchful.
Okay.
Here.
Right. Make a security and insight roll, please.
Okay.
DC of 2.
I take 1 momentum.
Yeah, actually, no, for you, it'd be a DC of 1 because this is still technically part of your
Okay, then
part
no
of your
momentum.
thing. Yeah. Okay. You notice there is a pressure pad right under your foot before you put your foot down.
I show that pressure plate to everyone and continue walking.
Yeah, it's easy enough to bypass. It's like literally only sort of like this, but now you've sort of very gently brushed the sand out of the way of it. It's obvious where it is, and it's easy to walk over. And the rest of your squad walk out, and you're now past the holographic line you was before.
Okay.
That's going to temporarily move you there. You can put yourself wherever you want, doesn't really matter. There is again, she puts up her finger. You may wish to scan to make sure we are outside the range of his trap, shall we say?
Okay.
And she's looking at Tulloch at this point. She's totally ignoring Tira.
Yeah, well, Todek will make a scan.
Okay. Yeah, it's just going to be a 1.
Okay, what do I roll?
Science and insight.
Okay. Let's just go for it. Okay.
Yeah, you're outside of the field. There's nothing to indicate anything scattering. The weird irregularities you were noticing earlier, completely gone. And as you pan the tricorder back to the cave system, you pick them up again, you scan the local area. No, that's clear. Yeah, you're definitely outside of the area.
Okay. Todek to Damocles?
Damocles here?
X to beam up. I don't know how many.
Okay, that's fine. You have. Is there anybody injured? So,
It does not appear so.
Yeah, just like superficial injuries. And you beam up to the ship. And we're going to skip forward a little bit, about half an hour or so. You're in the briefing room on the Damocles. And all the hostages have been medically scanned. A couple of them had sort of minor bruises, but nothing to be worried about. Mother, perfectly healthy. The unborn child, also doing well. No irregularities, within the normal range for a Vulcan pregnancy. Don't ask me what those are. I'll move this over here now because you're now back on the ship. Right, and
They're Vulcan though, so they probably do it better.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. In fact, you hear reports that your mother was actually instructing the medical officer, on a few techniques on how to treat people.
Yeah.
It's just like, yes, I believe a protoplaser would be better on that one. And you must imagine the medical officer just sort of, like, metaphorically gritting his teeth.
Yes.
It's like, no, I will be calm, and everything works out well. But we're in the middle of the debriefing now, and from what you can tell, I'm going to summarise now because we're getting close to the end. It just happened that your mother and her group was in the wrong place at the wrong time. They were there to see this rare bloom whilst Golgolek was there. He seems, from what they could pick up, the hostages, that he saw an opportunity in them. That he wasn't planning on anybody else being in this area, considering how barren it is. Apart from this few, so the few little greenery areas, it's a barren area, hence the barren garden. Whilst the hostages were in that chamber, was when they brought in the mining device and the claw, and something was brought up. Not anything anyone recognised, but it was encrusted in a rock of some kind. Whatever it was pleased Golgolek greatly, to which he then beamed out not long afterwards. You believe that the holographic message that was left was broadcast from somewhere else. Possibly a ship, possibly another location on the planet. You've got no way of really knowing. The holographic crew were left behind for a brief while, only about an hour or so, before they just turned off. Every so often they would come into the chamber, check on the hostages, and your guess over one of them being a bit too vigorous was what happened to the poor human, Stephen. He tried to escape. One of the holograms basically started punching him out. He fought back. They got more aggressive. As he got more aggressive, so did they. But holograms can't be hurt that way. So they just kept punching him and punching him and punching him until he became the mess that you saw on the view screen. But as such, nobody could really tell what was found there, only that it excited him, and it brought a smile to his face that the rest of the crew had not seen in a long time. The last words he said before beaming out were, "This is a good day." And then he beamed out. Before the captain dismisses you all, he looks around, it's like, is this accurate? Is this what happened? Obviously, talking about the mission reports, you basically rescued hostages who didn't even need rescuing?
Yep. They were not aware that there was no present danger, clear and present danger. They were assuming that they were still being guarded. But it is accurate.
It's as though he wants leaders.
So again, you cut out there in a second, sorry.
It's as though he wanted to lead us to the hole, to show us it.
There's a... Tonic's father sort of looks over. In fact, both his parents look over at you with a... Again, that is something I've not considered. And Captain makes eye contact with Tira. And am I right in reading what you tried to do, Tira?
Who reported that? I didn't.
this would have been.
Tolek didn't.
Now, this hadn't come like, and before you say anything, it's like Tolek didn't tell me, and you've not seen the captain this. I'm not gonna say upset, but he's disturbingly calm, and he's giving you a look you've not seen before. Is this correct in what you did, or attempted to do?
Yes, sir.
Just tapped on his pad. Dismissed. Tira. He indicates. Everyone else leaves the room. Why?
As you said yourself, she is part of the family. That means she has a priority for me. And for a second my emotions got the better of me.
Again, the unusual calm you've not seen in your captain before. Understand this, Tira. You have an exemplary record. There. You have an amazing record. I can't say. You know what I'm trying to say. And I completely agree with your motives. Which is why this is not going on the record. But if you ever do anything like that again, you will be in a lot of trouble.
Understood, sir.
Very good. And congratulations on winning the ping pong tournament. And that's where we're going to end it.
One epilogue thing.
Okay, yeah.
When Tira at some point returns to her quarters, there's a small package containing her combat. A bottle of thin alcohol, which is the same she drank with Ricky, and a note saying, "Lieutenant Tira, I appreciate your efforts. This is a placeholder for a real one when we return to Deep Space Nine. Tolek."
And here raises one eyebrow.
Nice. Very nice. I like that. That's good. Yeah. So, Tira got into a little bit of trouble there. I mean, fair enough. I can understand why you did it, but that could have gone very, very bad.
Like I said in chat, in that moment I just totally forgot the thing about the transporters.
No, the thing is though, that was in character.
Yeah.
That was definitely in character for Tira, because it's the sort of thing she would.
Stuff about
yeah,
her.
that's why I was umming and ahhing, because based on what you guys have told me about her, it's like, yes. Now I personally would love to have allowed that, but that was a major I'm not entirely sure I could kill Tolek's mother right in front of him.
Not yet.
Not yet. No, it's like
Yeah.
What's it? It's like the old joke. You know, this.
time.
What's it? This is an old joke. There's certain things you never do. Never insult a Klingon to his. Never try and con a Ferengi out of Latinum, and never hurt a Vulcan's mother.
Yeah.
Or insult her, or something like that. It's one of those sort of like joke phrases. It's like, you never insult a Vulcan's mother. So yeah, that was where. Yes, that could have been. That thing is that was actually what I was saving the threat for. Because if anyone was going to beam out, I was going to basically reduce any momentum and any dice rolls by that.
Okay.
So you are very lucky you didn't take that route.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to have a main character's death of a parent on the not just shit anyway. I want to establish him first, but
Yeah, I mean, there's no point doing it unless we show there's emotions involved.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we're still talking about a Vulcan, but I know what you mean.
yeah. That was
Sure,
Yeah, I
but
could
like,
really feel the love that it's just emotional.
I mean, we
no,
worked
do not want a
together
tragic
on
mistake.
We worked together on a science project. That is,
Yeah, that could have gone. See, if you had beamed out somebody else first, I still would have done the same. So if you'd have gone right, boom, we're going to beam this guy out. Yeah. He would have been.
Squish.
and if we're gonna go for a really dramatic emphasis, the rest of the characters also patched, right? So
It's well, they sort of touched on it in one of the films. What happens when transportation goes wrong?
Yeah.
And it's not pleasant. It's very much not pleasant. There's various things that can happen, such as being apparently the best thing to happen in a transport accident is to have your atoms scattered over the cosmos. That's the best solution. The worst is you're pretty much turned inside out whilst alive. And I'm pretty sure that would have gone down a nice treat. So yeah, that was the episode. I know that a couple of us are pretty much about to crash out. So if anybody wants to go now, by all means.
I'll set you up on that.
Well, so thank you for joining us. Especially, I know you said you were really freaking tired based on what you told me. But thank you for sticking through with that. And again, I apologise for not doing too much, but it was a Tolek focused episode.
I mean, well, I don't know. Perhaps I'd have been more. Way it was to not have to switch on too much.
Yeah, I don't think you should have rolled to. That's like beam up. It's like. Especially the way your sister roles seem to go is like you are the anti-Wheaton of the group. So yeah, I'm going to go and crash out and put some more sunburn cream on because I'm starting to hurt a little bit. Anybody else? So for what's going on next week as well, my streaming schedule is going to be back on normal. I will be playing Star Trek Online on the Tuesday as per normal. Yeah, there goes Ross. Okay, don't worry about the in-stream bit. That's fine. Oatmeal baths help with sunbirds. That is very true. I did think of that, but there's a small problem with that idea. I don't have any oatmeal or anything similar. What I have got is what's called E45 cream, which I put on earlier, and that seems to do the trick. So I'm gonna put some more on after I had a quick, very cooling shower. Yeah, my stream schedule next week will be on Tuesdays will be Star Trek Online, Mondays will be Assassin's Creed, Wednesdays Warcraft and blah blah blah. Basically the normal schedule that's listed below my stream. I want to thank everybody who's turned up tonight, and it's been pretty cool. Definitely set something out for a future villain or NPC to be more correct, because he's not really a villain. Yet. But yes.
You sparked my curiosity.
Oh yes, this is. I was almost going to tell you what they found in the hole, but I will tell you what they did not find in the hole, because I know probably some of you are going to be asking. It was not an orb.
That was my first idea.
I will give you that. I will give you that one as a free, as you know, to represent you. You know, sort of looking over the scan results as you're flying back to, first of all, Vulcan, and then to Mars to get the slipstream drive and everything sorted out, and the structural integrity repaired of the ship, because it's got some cracks forming. But yeah, it's not an orb.
Okay.
But it is something very old. And that's all you're going to get. So I bid you everybody else a good night. And in the stream.
Bye.
So. Bye-bye. Remember,
Bye-bye.
victory is life.
Okay, prosper.